It isn't just two people over there. Whatever, but it's doso a however many fucking are out there tonight. So we're
Dos casa e suso escasas.
we.
Hey, what are you, 3 languages in one show?
We're gonna have a little bit of fun tonight. This is an English stream, sir.
Okay.
So we're gonna have a little bit of fun tonight, obviously. So let's kick it off.
All right.
What is, my friend, one addition you would add to improve the All-Star Weekend?
Well, clearly
the NBA.
Clearly, it is in need of improvement because
obviously tonight's festival, from what I've heard, granted I have it DVR'd, so I don't know what it was like yet. I had some family over tonight. We had a game night. It was a great time. I haven't seen the dunk contest. No spoilers. But I've heard
Glenn Robinson, the third one. Spoiler alert.
Wow, man.
Sorry, I had to.
That was the guy I said was out in the first round. You ruined it like that? All right. Well, this man's dangerous. But all right. So I've heard it was
unpredictable night.
Yeah, I've heard it was predictable.
Unpredictable night.
Oh, all right. I've heard it was a snooze fest, people. How do you have the dunk contest be a snooze fest?
I'll tell you what. I also had family events going on tonight, so I was not able to partake in the festivities.
But did you DVR it?
I did DVR it, but I also followed the whole event on Twitter.
Okay.
And
I heard a drone made an appearance.
I was able to see all the dunks.
Did that really happen?
A drone did make an appearance.
Did he dunk the drone?
I wish.
Did the drone dunk the ball?
That would have been amazing.
That would have been amazing.
The drone just tossing it.
Does the drone win dunk contest automatically? Does the drone win dunk contest automatically?
I don't know. I think you have to have a heartbeat.
Alright, whatever. Continue.
So, from what I saw, it was not. I mean, there were some impressive dunks, but nowhere near as creative as last year.
I'm not gonna lie. Last year had me falling off the couch.
The best dunk, in my opinion, this year was Derrick Jones off the side of the glass, bringing it up front behind his legs and in.
I thought you said you didn't watch it.
I didn't. I said I followed it on Twitter.
So you watched a few dunks.
Yeah.
So you didn't watch the intermittent commentary that's useless.
That would have been beautiful, though. I mean, Kenny the Jet Smith, man.
Okay.
But anyway,
I do like me a little bit of Kenny.
Overall, from what we have heard, it was a snooze fest, and now we have to come on here and address this. So,
all right. So
to improve it.
So should I just delete the DVR?
No, I mean it's still worth. You don't get the commentary. It's still worth it.
But it's the commentary.
I'm not doing my DVR even though it's all the dunks.
Right. So if you're not going to lead, I'm not going to lead. All right, let's go on. How would you make the All-Star Weekend better, my friend?
I have a number for you. That number is 3.
3.
3.
Okay, I have a question here. How does the number 3 correlate with the All-Star Weekend?
3-on-3.
3-on-3.
I want either a 3-on-3 tournament or a 1-on-1 tournament. Here's why I think this actually.
A tournament would take too long, though. You got to pick your best 3-on-3. Are you going 3-on-3 anybody in the NBA, or you got to be on your own team 3-on-3? So like Kevin Love, Kyrie, and LeBron versus Draymond, Steph, and KD. Would that be your 3-on-3, or would you be like
I would love to watch players
Isaiah East versus West kind of?
I love to watch
Isaiah
players
Thomas,
pick their
LeBron,
teams.
like okay, all
That's
right.
what I would like to see.
How would you pick your captains then?
But that's voted on.
Okay.
But here's why I think this could happen in the not so distant future. You have Ice Cube's Big 3 League now, which is
Ice Cube's Big 3. What
you haven't heard about this?
I mean, I've heard about the league that Rasheed Wallace was involved in, where that
was a while ago. So
is that still a thing?
Ice Cube is now. This is official. This is official stuff here. Ice Cube has.
Is anything Ice Cube does official?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything Ice Cube
Not since like
does.
The 80s.
Everything.
The
Are you calling NWA not official, man?
That's like the 90s, bro.
Everything Ice
What
Cube
has
does is
NWA
official.
done since the 90s?
There was a cool movie about him. That was.
Yeah,
they,
but that's not.
They
that's not
participated.
By
We're
NWA.
getting off topic.
We're getting
off topic. So this Big 3 League is, I think, people. I think it's going to be huge, personally.
Okay.
Because you're going to see a bunch of old vets that you grew up watching. Okay, I don't want to say old.
You mean like T-Mac, Rasheed,
Chauncey's going to be in. They already have team names set up and everything. I know Jason White Chocolate Williams is going to be one of the coaches.
White chocolate.
White chocolate. I wish you would play him, but you know what? I'll take.
You know what? I love watching me some white chocolate.
So anyway, so you have this 3-on-3 league, and I feel like the NBA is going to want to incorporate. I feel the NBA is going to incorporate this somehow in the All-Star Weekend. So either you might see some 3-on-3 games from the Big Three played during All-Star Weekend, or you might have players currently in the NBA forming.
You know what? You could stop right there because having people from this 3-on-3 league, if it were players from the past, like Rashid or T-Mac or Vince Carter when he retires, obviously, or Chauncey and Rip and players like that aren't too old but can still ball.
Exactly. AI is going to be in it.
Awesome, because that would be amazing to watch.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to watch guys like T-Mac still ball it up in the All-Star Weekend. And that's kind of what the celebrity game kind of tried with a few of these players.
They throw some in.
They kind of tried
They
with a few of these
threw in
players,
White Chocolate and they threw in Baron Davis.
Yeah, but having stars like T-Mac and AI and all them guys go at it in a 3-on-3, that'd just be straight awesome. And if they added that to the All-Star Weekend, that'd be awesome. So don't even bother bringing up 3-on-3 with the current players. Bring up 3-on-3
well,
with
if it's
the
already going to
past
be
players.
having
awesome.
its own league, is the demand going to be as high for his All-Star? Then
Hell yeah, because
then the demand would start growing for modern players. So
hell yeah, it'd be huge because nobody's going to watch that separate league. That's just like when the XFL tried with the NFL. Nobody watched that. Nobody wanted to see players that weren't in the NFL really play. That's why it failed.
Well, here's the XFL and NFL. The XFL wasn't made up of former NFL players. People still had some kind of attachment to.
Either way, though, people are not the way that the media is watching it, and the way that the media is not going to report on it. First off, so you're not going to have the exposure. If you don't have the exposure, you don't have people watching. So if you don't have people watching, nobody's really gonna. I mean, you'll have some people. Obviously, I'll watch it. It'll be awesome, but you're not going to have the viewership to watch. To see old ass Chauncey, old ass T-Mac, old ass AI, old ass Jason Williams go at it in a 3-on-3. Be awesome to watch in a 1-game situation, but a whole season? That's a little lame. I get why he's doing it because it's nostalgia, but seeing them
nostalgia is strong.
Oh hell yeah!
It is a strong influencer.
Nostalgia would be the strongest in a 1-game situation where you got T-Mac going up against AI. I mean, that'd be awesome to see in a 1-game situation, which is why I would think you can stop there. Fuck the current players playing a 3-on-3 situation there. Bring back the classics, pulling a 3-on-3. Have that added into the All-Star Weekend. That would be sick.
Let me ask you this, because I also mentioned 1-on-1. Tell me if this was a scenario, if this was something that was actually happening tonight, that you wouldn't drop everything you're doing to watch this.
What?
Russell Westbrook versus KD 1-on-1.
KD would win that just by size alone.
I would still drop everything to watch that.
Just
the history between two players right now.
I don't know that I'd drop. See, I don't think I would because KD and Russell's rivalry
pick your 1-on-1 match.
KD's none, because there's no rivalries in the NBA right now. None.
That is a rivalry right now.
No, it's not. It's not there
KD
yet.
and Russell?
Give it time.
They don't even talk to each other.
Andrew, I'm telling you, give it time, my man. Give it a little bit of time. Let's see what happens in the All-Star game. Let's see what happens in their next matchup. Give it time.
I already know tonight.
Watching Isaiah and Jordan, those two straight up hated each other. Those two going 1-on-1 would have been awesome to watch. You can't sit here and tell me that Isaiah and Jordan's hatred for each other is the same as Russell and KD's. I'm sorry, you can't.
Well, that's because Russell and KD's is only a year old, if that.
Not even. It's
a budding
old.
rivalry.
It's a budding rivalry. Let it mature. That's the thing with we talked about this in the past. That's the thing with professional sports today. There's no rivalries. Let it mature and be a true rivalry. It is not must-see TV yet. Yes, the Warriors Thunder game was one of the most watched NBA games outside non-Christmas Day NBA games watched. Regular season. Great game. Excuse me. Whoa, hello. Great game to watch, but at the same time, you got two fantastic teams going at it. So there's a lot more involved than just KD and Russell. but also in the same sentence. Why those two? Why not LeBron and
That's what I'm
whoever?
saying.
Why not LeBron and D Wade,
1-on-1.
former teammates that are still friends, but
they're
probably
still
love
friends.
going one-on-one?
They're still buddy.
Why would you? Are you just going to have a bunch of one-on-one games going? That doesn't sound like a real fluid All-Star weekend.
That's not how it would go. You would have one-on-one games voted on by the fans. Who fans want to see take on each other one-on-one?
So you're leaving All-Star Weekend up to the fans.
No.
Whereas I want to take All-Star Weekend away from the fans. To a certain extent.
I agree on the All-Star game, taking that away from the fans.
Okay.
But it wouldn't work with stuff like the dunk contest and the three-point contest because not everyone's willing to participate. But I feel like a quick one-on-one match, no one is going out of their comfort zone. They're just playing basketball.
They're balling.
Yeah, people like dunk contests who are going out of their comfort zone, like maybe I'm not creating enough of my dunks. Like people like LeBron, he did not ever want to, even though fans were clamoring for him to participate. He never
I don't
did.
think LeBron's that great of a dunker. I think he puts down some powerful dunks, but at the same time, I don't think he has.
But we'll never know.
I don't think he has the ability to do the creative dunks you see in the All-Star game.
We'll never know unless we saw him.
And
in the
you know
dunk
what?
contest.
We'll never know because there's no stars in the NBA dunk contest, anyways, which is my biggest problem with the dunk contest to begin with. Bring back the stars. Bring back the Dominiques. Bring back the Jordans. Bring back the Spud Webbs. Those guys were stars in the NBA. Bring them back. Bring back the stars.
Let me ask you a question.
Let the stars dunk.
Do you think they were all young players when they participated.
Yes, but they were still budding stars. That's like saying that Giannis Antetokounmpo is not a star. Or Paul George when he was coming up not a star.
I wanted to see Antetokounmpo in the dunk
or
contest.
LeBron when he was coming. LeBron
with
in
those
his
Space
sophomore
Jam Michael
year.
Jordan arms, I would like to see.
LeBron coming up as a young player, as a sophomore or a rookie, wasn't a star. The guy was already a star out of high school.
But either way, here's
to
why.
say that guys, just because they're young players, aren't stars or budding stars, that you don't even have budding stars in the dunk contest right now. Who the hell is Glenn Robinson III outside of a Michigan, a guy who went to the... I understand, but a guy who went to the NCAA championship. What has he done in the NBA? Who the hell is Derrick Jones Jr.? Who the hell is Jason Richardson when he won back in the day? Who the hell is Aaron Gordon outside of a bench four, outside of when Serge Ibaka got traded now that he's starting? His break came because of a guy who's no longer on the team. I mean, who the hell are these guys? They're not stars. They're not even budding stars.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't care what your name is. I don't care how much money you make in the NBA, what your following is.
The thing is, though, is you don't care, but at the same time, how more excited would you be about the dunk contest if it was LeBron James versus Dwayne Wade?
I don't care what your name is. I want to see the best four dunkers. I don't care
Doesn't
who
matter.
it is.
See, I disagree with you because how much more excited would you be about the dunk contest if LeBron James is going up against Kobe 2 years ago?
Yeah, give me the one-on-one tournament then. The dunk contest, I don't care who it is. I just want to see some really cool ass dunks.
I understand the one-on-one tournament at that point because, watching LeBron James go against Kobe, especially if they were in their primes, granted not possible, one's like 10 years older than the other, but watching those two go at it would be awesome. But realistically, in today's scenario, that's not possible. So why not let the two of the stars go at it in the dunk contest? That'd be awesome. Watching Kobe, interacts with LeBron in the dunk contest. Hey man, watch this. Let me. You're gonna watch me win this dunk contest right in your face, and you're not gonna do nothing about it. And then LeBron comes back. Watch this happen.
How fun would it be if you're seeing average dunks though?
Are you saying LeBron and Kobe are going to be average dunkers?
Well, you said yourself LeBron would be an average dunker.
I'm just saying that's what the people want. That's what I want. I haven't seen LeBron do that type of stuff. I'm saying right now, the reason I haven't seen it is because he can't do it. But hypothetically, because this entire situation is hypothetical, if he could, that's what I'd want to see. But the stars won't do it anymore.
Everyone wanted to see LeBron.
Exactly, but the stars won't do it. You haven't seen the stars in the dunk contest since the 80s and 90s, and I guarantee you that the viewership of the dunk contest would skyrocket if you had the big names do it. But you don't.
When Kobe did it, he wasn't a star. He was still a rookie.
Yeah, but Kobe was a big name as a rookie. That's like saying LeBron wasn't a big name as a rookie. That's like saying MJ wasn't a big name as a rookie. problem is,
I'm just saying you're not seeing superstar like mid late 20s players.
Thing is though, the problem is with guys like Dominique, Spud,
again they were
Jordan,
all young guys when they did it.
But at the same time, they're bigger names when they're young guys than Aaron Gordon, Glenn Robinson III, and Derrick Jones Jr. That's what you got in today's dunk contest. That's garbage. Zach LaVine as a name is garbage.
He's a
Dominique, it doesn't matter if he's a good player. He's not a name.
He was one of the best dunk contest dunkers we've seen.
He's a dunker. He's not a name in the NBA. But he's not a name in the NBA,
That's
man.
All, you want a dunker.
I would rather watch Michael Jordan at the age of 22 when he came out of college, or 23 when he was in the dunk contest, than Zach LaVine. I'd rather watch a fresh Michael Jordan in the league than Zach LaVine.
You know what I want to watch?
What?
I want to watch Kobe and MJ get a third person and join that Big Three league.
Hell yeah, that would be awesome. Don't get me wrong, and I've said this. A 3-on-3 situation with the past players, and again, like I said,
who would be your third person on that team, by the
way? Kobe, MJ.
You think Magic?
You know what? Fuck it, Magic. That's exactly the name I was thinking of. Magic. You know what'd be fun? You know what'd be awesome?
Can he still ball? Do you think Magic can still ball?
Yeah, man. That's like saying Del Curry can't shoot the three. Watch the guy shoot
I know,
half
but
corner.
I'm just saying, like, he looks like he's put on a little bit of weight, you know?
So what? That's just the money in his pockets, all right? But no. You know what'd be awesome to watch is those three. Isaiah, Joe D, and Larry Bird.
You bring back the
and
team.
Larry Bird, Joe D, Isaiah against MJ, Kobe, and granted Kobe's the oddball in this situation, and Magic. So you got maybe take out Kobe.
Let me switch this up.
Put in someone like.
Let me switch this up on you. Let me switch this up on you.
All right.
Give me Isaiah, Joe D, and Bill Laimbeer going against MJ.
All right.
Scottie Pippen. And Dennis Rodman. Actually, no. Scratch Dennis.
You got to take out Dennis just because he played on that bad boys team.
Scratch Dennis. Give me like Tony Kukoc or some center.
Well, then you're fucking getting destroyed.
Fine. All right. Give me Ron Harper. Give me a point. But then Bill. Who's going to guard Bill Laimbeer? I mean MJ. I mean.
I don't know.
Anyway, it'd be fun.
Take out Bill Laimbeer.
I want to rekindle.
Take out Bill Laimbeer.
I want to rekindle old rivalries.
Add in the microwave.
Give me Chauncey, Rip, and Ben Wallace to go against. Give me Jamal Tinsley, Reggie Miller, and Steven
bring
Jackson,
back them Pacers,
and Ron Artest. No, Reggie Miller, Ron Artest, Steven Jackson. Give me that.
No, Reggie Miller, Ron Artest, and Jermaine O'Neal. Someone's got to guard Big Ben, my friend.
There you go.
I mean,
rekindle the old rivalry.
I was gonna say,
it's a prime opportunity.
I was gonna say, screw this topic. Let's go. Who's your dream 3-on-3?
I mean, we basically just started doing that.
All right, no. Okay. You brought in the 3-on-3 topic. My scenario that's actually realistic. My scenario that's actually realistic with the NBA All-Star Weekend to make it better is take away the fan vote for most of it.
Well, the only fan votes involved is the All-Star game.
That's what I'm saying. Take away the fan vote from the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm. They did it in part this year.
The All-Star game, for the most part,
thank God they enacted it in part this year, because Untitled would have been an All-Star if they didn't do it.
In part, but at the same time, the fan vote's probably why Russell Westbrook's not starting when he should, hands down, already give him the MVP.
It is.
So take that out of the hands of the fans, because the All-Star game at that point is just a popularity contest if it's in the hands of the fans. That's why Derek Jeter was an All-Star for like 27 years when he really wasn't that good for the last 5. Mm-hmm. So take away the fan vote for the most part. Let the coaches and players decide who deserves to be the NBA All-Star starters and most of the reserves. However, throw a little curveball in there and have a little fun.
I like curveballs.
Let the fans decide the last 2 roster spots in the NBA All-Star teams, just to throw a little bit of a fun situation.
You know what's going to happen then?
You got Zaza Pachulia.
You can have Zaza Pachulia come off the bench in the All-Star
Fuck it. At the end, at that point, let it happen. If Zaza Pachulia is that much of a fan favorite, that's obviously what the fans want to see. That's obviously what people want to watch happen.
Oh, man.
So you know what? Let it happen.
Oh, man.
Let him be the last guy coming off the bench in the All-Star game. Because you know what? If that's what the fans want, that's what the fans get.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't make that much of an impact on the game. However, I understand the situation that it's a purely fun game. Unlike MLB in years past, this is not the scenario anymore where the All-Star game actually meant something. Obviously, that rule has changed now where the All-Star game now means nothing in baseball, but before it meant who got home field advantage in the World Series. I kind of liked that rule. Because that kind of decided who, what league. It made the All-Star game important versus, now with going with every other professional sport in the U.S., the All-Star game means nothing outside of fun. So I get the fan vote, but I kind of liked the competitiveness in the All-Star game in baseball. So do you make the All-Star game kind of worth something in other sports?
That's what I want.
I love the flag.
Don't get me wrong.
Do you make the All-Star game actually important? Do you make it so the East versus West, the winner gets something?
Yes. Don't get me wrong. I love the flashiness. I really enjoy the flashiness. But deep in my heart as a basketball fan, I want to know truly who would win if both teams are trying.
If both teams are trying offense and defense.
Exactly. And
but the counter argument to that is what happens if your star player gets hurt because he's trying too hard in that All-Star game.
I mean, you saw that with Paul George in the Olympics.
Yes, you did.
But if you're putting something at stake,
but there's something.
If you're putting something at stake,
it's just another game. At
exactly.
That point. Okay, I get you. Okay, but what would you put at stake? Would you go the?
You could follow.
Would you go a la baseball route and go winning team gets home field advantage in?
Because here's the key:
the championship.
You don't want to put too much at stake. Because again, it is the All-Star game,
right?
But maybe you could have a bonus involved. Maybe
what?
Maybe a cash bonus.
Okay. At that point, all these All-Stars are making $20 million
isn't there already
a year.
Cash bonus?
I think so. But all these All-Stars are already making so much goddamn money, it doesn't even matter. I do think you should go a la MLB in years past and go, winner of the All-Star game gets home field advantage or home court advantage or whatever. I liked that situation just because it made the All-Star game competitive.
Oh, absolutely.
It made a situation where guys actually tried to play both offense and defense. Guys actually wanted to win that game because, hey, my team has a shot to make that series or that game.
Absolutely.
Let's try and win this so we can have that game happen.
Because
majority of those games happen in front of our home field.
Because most people in the All-Star game are teams that have a shot to
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Let's try to have that winning have that championship game happen in front of our home fans.
Yeah.
I want that to happen in every sport. I'd love to see that outside of the Pro Bowl, just because they're so close to each other. You can't have the Super Bowl teams.
They need to do something about that damn Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl's a joke. We'll get into that another week. There's too much to even talk about with the Pro Bowl. I can't break it down now. So,
but we'll move on.
We'll move on with this. So we've been talking about this for a while, but. My friend, what is, in your opinion, the best sports dynasty? I'm not just saying within the last 10 years. I'm not just saying within the last 50. Ever. And that includes singular athletes like a Tiger Woods. Who had the best run in professional sports as a dynasty? Yeah, I mean, you can go Spurs. You can go Pistons. You can go Red Wings with their 25 years plus 4 Stanley Cups. You can go the, Bad Boys Pistons. Who would you say is the best sports dynasty of all time?
There's one team whose ability to win and their accomplishments and their winnings have been unmatched in the last 50, 60, 70 years. Century even.
Shoot.
I gotta go with the late 50s all the way to the late 60s Boston Celtics. With Red Auerbach as a coach. They had Bill Russell.
Going way back with this.
11 championships. Like, that is ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Can I bring in college sports?
Is it really a dynasty, though?
UCLA with John Wooden? They won 80-something games in a row.
Yeah, exactly. But can you call something a dynasty where you don't have the consistent team? Is what I'm saying.
All right, we'll keep this professional sports.
But my only hesitation when I was thinking about the Celtics was the competitive balance in the league back then was way different than it is now.
Absolutely.
Like, I feel like if you threw the Golden State Warriors and back then, they would do the same thing. But
I don't know about that just because the game's completely different.
It is. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Punched in the face.
It could have. It's possible.
Steph Curry goes to shoot a 3/4 of the court shot and gets punched in the face.
You throw the 90s Bulls in there, they're going to do the same.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
But so that was my hesitation. But at the end of the day, you just gotta recognize the accomplishments, and that's what I have to go with. Brett Auerbach with the victory cigar, iconic. Your coach is an icon of winning. Like his image, it just exudes winning.
I'll agree with that.
Bill Russell can't even fit all his championship rings on 2 hands.
Would you say he's a better coach than Greg Popovich?
That's a tough argument because again, I feel like if Greg Popovich coached back then, I feel like he probably could have done the same thing because of the competitiveness of the league. So you can't really say, but I gotta go with Popovich over
okay.
Auerbach.
I agree with you. I think Popovich is the greatest coach of all time, but I have struggled with it. We actually brought up this question weeks ago. Mm-hmm. We wanted to talk about this probably in our second show.
Just couldn't find a spot to fit in.
We couldn't find a spot to fit in. Now we finally have. Mm-hmm. I struggle with this still because I have a problem wondering if I have a problem saying. Because in my opinion, the NBA championship is probably the easiest of all titles to win. Mm-hmm. Of all. The hardest being either the Super Bowl or the World Series trophy.
Yeah.
Hands down. So I struggle between the Bulls, the Spurs, just because of their dominance, their continued dominance. However, I got to take them out just because repeating in the NBA.
Taking both out?
Yes, just because repeating in the... I'm not taking the Bulls out. I'm going to take the Spurs out because... I'm going to take the Spurs out. Mm-hmm. But the Bulls, I'll leave in barely. Mm-hmm. But what the Pats have done in the NFL over the last 15 years is unheard of in the last 50 years in football.
That, in my opinion, is the hardest championship to win, the Super Bowl.
Man, you are not a baseball fan then. You have not watched
admittedly,
baseball.
Not the biggest baseball fan.
You have not watched baseball and seen how hard it is just to make the playoffs. There are situations where you have to play 1, 2, 3 extra games.
Let me just
to put yourself in that talk of the playoffs.
Let me pose a question real quick. I know.
First off, baseball has the least amount of teams make it of any sport.
I know baseball has a longer history of the World Series and football does Super Bowl, but are there any teams in baseball that still have not made the World Series?
Yes. Really? Still have not made the World Series. Mm-hmm. I'd have to check that.
But there are that
that
haven't
is
won.
True.
There are teams that haven't won.
I would, yes. Sorry for the typing. Friends.
Yeah, we don't have a producer today for our fact checking. So
again, no producer. There are 2 teams that have never made it to the World Series: Seattle Mariners and the Washington Nationals.
Okay.
The Texas Rangers will make their first World Series appearance on Wednesday, October 27th. That happened years ago. But the Texas Rangers had just made their first World Series.
That's kind of insane, considering the World Series has been going on since what?
Exactly. However, the Washington Nationals are considered a newer franchise, but they were in Montreal before. So, as a Montreal team, I don't think they ever made the World Series. So, to say that there are 3 teams, or 2 teams, was 3 as of 3 or 4 years ago until the Texas Rangers finally made it, that have never even made a World Series, that says a lot because the World Series has been around for... over 100 over 100 years.
Yeah.
I mean, so in my opinion, that's why the baseball championship, becoming a world champion in baseball is the hardest thing to win. In football, yes, I understand it's incredibly difficult, and there's a lot of teams that have never even made it or won. But I gotta hand it to baseball just because you gotta win the 4 or 7 against the other best team in the game. You gotta win, the several games before. You gotta go through a grueling 162 game marathon to get there. You got to handle the constant nagging injuries. You got to handle playing 5 out of 7 nights on a weekly basis for X amount of weeks. That alone tells me that is a ridiculously difficult thing to do. Not to mention, you have situations like we've seen in years past. Now that baseball has increased the wild card to 2 teams instead of 1, which you'd think would make it easier, but no, it's only made it harder to make the playoffs in baseball because you have situations where you have 3 teams fighting for that wild card spot with a game to play, 1 game to play, where there's situations where they've had to play a game 163, add on to your 162 game season, a 164, add on to that. Oh, and don't forget, if you win that game, you got to go in the very next night in a lot of situations and play another, now you're in the playoffs, play another best of 1 series, you can't even call it a series, winner take all situation against the playoff team that was better than you.
So then, real quick, so moving forward here, so you would pick the Patriots though, right? Is what you're saying?
I would say the Patriots situation, the Patriots, what they've done over the last 15 years is ridiculous. They have continued their dominance, even with their quarterback out. They won 11-5. Granted, they didn't make the playoffs that year out of a fluke scenario. You go 11-5. I'd say 98 out of 100 times you're making the playoffs. Granted, that year with Matt Castle they didn't. However, they've continued their dominance with Tom Brady, and as a champion, they've won 5 Super Bowls with that team.
And I agree, but let me interrupt you real quick.
I'm not done, my friend. I'm not done. I still say the New York Yankees beats them out.
That's what I'm about to ask you.
The New York Yankees. Granted, they spent more money than anyone, but you know what? That doesn't mean what goes on the field is gonna be a winner. We've seen teams with the high payrolls not win. Yeah. We've seen the Boston Red Sox continue to lose. We've seen that even the Tigers last year had one of the highest payrolls in baseball. I love that team, but they were not a great team. Granted, a lot of injuries happen. But we've seen the high payroll teams not work. But the Yankees continued to win the World Series, in my opinion, the toughest championship to win in all of sports. They continued to win year in and year out, and even they continued to be at least in the conversation of a World Series team, of a World Series contending team. That is something you can't say about any other sports team, sports franchise, or dynasty in history.
Well, let me change my question real quick, because the Yankees been dominant for quite a while.
Yeah, they're not dominant anymore.
I know, but they've been like they're
the best. They're probably the most successful franchise.
Yeah, there's many
history.
eras of the Yankees being dominant. What would you say is the Yankees' most dominant era?
That's a tough question because you got to argue the Murderers Row Yankees with Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth. I mean, that Yankees team was unbelievable. I mean, you got literally 2 of the arguably greatest baseball players of all time playing on that team. But man, that is such a tough question just because honestly, I'd have to go back and look further into it just to see how dominant each team was in the era.
Yeah.
You know, I know enough about the Murderers Row Yankees to say, like, yeah, that was
Right, talk about an intimidating nickname.
Murderers Row. I mean, that is unbelievable. Just to say that, like, that was one of the most dominant teams in sports history, but at the same time, you got a Yankees team in the 90s and turn of the millennium Yankees that was dominant as well. I mean, they won a 3-peat during that era. They, Derek Jeter, they had A-Rod in his prime, with the massive contract. They had, Andrew Jones when he was good. They had guys like Mark Teixeira.
Is that the guy that's supposed to name like you?
Yes.
That just pisses me off. I'm sorry.
They had guys like, they had guys in their prime. CeCe Sabathia in his prime. They had Roger Clemens in his prime. They had some of the best players out there. I'm probably forgetting a few. Hideki Matsui. I mean, the guy was awesome. I loved Hideki Matsui. Bernie Williams. God, I can't believe I'm forgetting. Names are just flying in right now. But teams like... Sorry about that. Teams like that, I mean, those kind of dynasties only come around once a century even. I mean... So to say that the Yankees dynasty of this era was better than the early 1900s dynasty with Murderers Row, I don't know. That's hard to say because they did it in an era as considered as the dead ball era, where home runs just really didn't happen that often. But was that team really better than today's team? Because you also had the situation where baseball wasn't exactly integrated yet. Whereas it is completely different now with Hispanics, Asians, as well as African Americans, as well as your traditional American players. I mean, so to say which dynasty was better, I couldn't say. I don't know that you could say at that point. You could argue both sides, hands down, to the death. You could argue both sides.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you say New York in general is the best sports city?
Ooh, nice segue. The best sports city in the country. You know, I obviously I am very proud to represent. Very, 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 very proud to represent. Last year, the city of Detroit was voted as the best sports city in America.
Don't know how, but it was.
They had successful teams.
Keyword had.
Yeah, well, that was last year.
Last year, I mean, you had two teams that barely made the playoffs.
The Pistons.
The
Tigers were coming off
missed the playoffs.
The Tigers were coming off a dominant stretch where they won X amount of straight division championships.
If you're going over past, then maybe.
But at the same time, that past has built what is today. Yeah. So you're coming off a dominant stretch of play by the Tigers, the Wings. The Lions are finally relevant. You have dominant play by Michigan State.
Hopefully, become more
you have
relevant
Michigan
at some point.
as a brand still there. You have the University of Michigan. You have the Michigan State thing. You have the Tigers, the Wings. The Pistons are finally relevant again. You have the Lions finally becoming relevant again. Absolutely, I would put the city of Detroit as the best sports city in America.
Is that what you do right now, though?
Fuck no.
Okay.
The city of Detroit has gone so downhill for sports. Pistons, I am so mad at them.
Yeah.
They're a bad team. Not even fun to watch. The Tigers, I'm going to let them pass on this one because they do, on paper, have a lot of talent. Have a lot and could contend.
They've missed the playoffs, the last 3 years now, though?
No,
2 years?
last year.
No, they're really 2 years removed from the playoffs, man.
I don't believe so.
But continue.
No, because Brett Osmond's only been a manager for 2 years. They made the playoffs in their first year. Okay. They got beat in the first round by the Baltimore Orioles. The Tigers have a chance to contend. They have a lot of talent, especially if their pitching shows up, mind you. And they stay healthy. The Lions, yes, they made the playoffs last year, but I don't know if that team really deserved it. Yeah. And then the Wings are an absolute garbage heap right now. Yeah. So, no, Detroit is not... And Michigan State basketball is not good.
Michigan State everything is just taking a downturn this year.
Michigan football was good, but I think they were a little bit of a fluke. And I think they got exposed in their last... losing 2 of the last 3 and then losing the bowl game. They got exposed. So
who would it be then?
I'm going to swing that over to you. Who do you think is the best sports city?
I'm sticking in the same city, and I'm going Boston.
Boston
again.
That actually was my pick, was Boston. I thought about that before the show.
Fucked up swinging over to me,
I did, didn't I? I look like a fucking pansy. But no,
you got the Celtics.
Boston sports
Patriots.
is probably the best right now because you do have the Patriots. You do have the Red Sox, which they had the Cy Young winner. They contend.
Celtics one of the best teams in the East now. Patriots
the Celtics.
Super Bowl win.
You had...
Don't know how the Red Sox and Bruins are doing right now.
You have the Bruins, which, are contending.
Okay.
You have teams that continue to contend versus a city like LA where you have the Kings, which, won a Stanley Cup not too long ago.
Okay.
You have the Dodgers, which continue to contend. But the Lakers suck. The Clippers really aren't even in the conversation in the West, even though they're probably going to make the playoffs. And outside of that, what do you have? The Angels aren't any good. They're one of the worst teams in the American League. So, and then you talk about the city of New York, another big market team, another big market city. The Brooklyn Nets suck. New York Knicks suck. Then you got the Islanders, which really don't know much about just because, well, they're not relevant. The Rangers were good at one point. I don't even know if they're any good anymore. Then you got the Yankees, which sucked last year. Granted, they competed for a playoff spot, but they didn't make it. And then you got the Mets, which, yeah, they, are a big name team right now, so you give them that. But, I mean, the Giants made the playoffs, but they flamed out. The Jets are terrible. So, New York you can't talk about. Chicago, the Bears suck. The Bulls really aren't even worth talking about.
So, long story short, you go Boston,
So,
too?
long story short, absolutely Boston. I mean, what other city can compete?
You just ran down a bunch of cities and teams that suck.
Cities that suck. So, I mean, yeah, you have to go Boston at that point. They got a championship. Yeah. They got teams that can compete for championships and will probably for a couple of years now. So, definitely Boston. Absolutely.
Definitely Boston. I agree. Obviously.
But we talk about cities that suck. Yeah. So, let's go to the biggest loser in sports. Who do you think is the biggest loser?
Can I just throw a whole city out?
Yeah, let's hear it.
No, I'm not going to throw a city out. I was going to throw Cleveland out, but they kind of won a championship.
Okay, they won one championship in the last 60 years.
Biggest loser in sports. Are we just going modern or are we going all time?
Let's go right now.
Right now.
We'll throw it all time.
Because I have two in mind, both fantastic players. And I just can't decide which one is a bigger loser. Because the way I define loser is not someone who's a bad player. I define it as someone who he could be the best player on your team, but just someone who you cannot win with.
DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, that's one. That is one. But for me, I go Melo.
Okay.
I go Melo, and switching sports. You kind of dashed. You kind of took the rug out from under me because I was going to say T.O. But
T.O. Okay.
That was someone you just could not win with. But since we're going just modern,
but the Eagles made a Super Bowl.
They made a Super Bowl
with T.O. Can you say that you can't win? You're talking about one of the hardest things to do.
It is. It is a hard thing to do. It is a hard thing to do.
So you can win with
here's the thing. When I think about it, T.O. demanded too much attention. He demanded too many looks to allow his team to win. I feel I think that.
But there's guys that demanded that many looks that still won. Jerry Rice, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Jordan. They commanded that many looks. They demanded that many looks and still won titles.
That's because they were more effective than T.O.
That's a pretty effective guy, my friend.
But yeah, Melo is someone who on any team he's on.
No, Melo, yeah, absolutely.
Again, like we said, he demands looks, and even though you don't really see it, I feel like he demands, like, he's got to be the center of attention on the team. He's got to be the guy, but he doesn't have that killer instinct.
No, he doesn't have the venom to win. He doesn't have the venom to play lockdown D like Michael Jordan.
He's a player that any team would covet, but at the same time,
I don't know any team.
I would love a player that would put up 26 points in a small forward position with like 8 rebounds, but
he doesn't average 8.
Either
maybe
way,
5.
Either way, the guy is too inefficient.
At that point, you're going,
too much.
Why not go for a guy like Kevin Martin?
Yeah.
So
I'm tired, but
that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, I'd have to go Melo.
Melo. I'm gonna throw a little curveball.
Okay, I like curveballs.
Like I said, and again. You can actually argue this guy in the last topic with the best sports dynasty of all time, best run in the history of any sport.
So you're going with someone who could have classified himself as a dynasty as the biggest loser?
Yes. Wow. Classified himself as a dynasty.
Talk about both ends of the spectrum.
Now is considered the biggest loser in sports, and that is a guy by the name of Tiger Woods.
Let me stop right there. Don't you think that the downfall of Tiger Woods, partly because of all the negative media he's gotten from the whole fiasco with his ex-wife, but couldn't you attribute in big part to injuries?
Absolutely, and here's why: it's his own fault.
His own fault.
Yes.
I want to hear this one.
His back problems, his hamstring problems, his hip problems, his arm problems, his shoulder problems are absolutely 100% his fault. There are several golf professionals, I believe. I don't want to be, I'm not 100% on this, but I believe a guy by the name of it could be Steve Snedker, legendary golfer, back when Tiger Woods first started out, said he will never last in the PGA, and the reason is because of his swing.
Okay.
There is so much tension, so much aggressiveness in his swing, he will, without a doubt, have his body turn on him within 15, 20 years. Hands down. That is why Tiger Woods' injuries are his own fault.
So you're saying he's had multiple opportunities to improve his swing, make it
Absolutely.
more sustainable?
Guys change swing coaches, I can't even tell you how many times in the last 15 years.
And you think it's just him that does not want to...
He refuses. Not just that. He's put so much wear and tear on his body with his swing. Granted, that swing won him X amount of majors. I believe it was 14 majors.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that. But so many majors, so many tournaments made him a borderline billionaire.
Yeah.
But that swing also was his downfall. That swing is also the reason he is absolutely irrelevant in today's golf. That swing is the reason, in my opinion, he is the biggest loser in today's sports. The guy has missed how many cuts in the last year? How many times has he just dropped out of a tournament altogether before he even missed a cut, or not even shown up for a tournament because he had back problems or hip problems, or his glutes weren't firing, as he said a couple of years ago? I mean, that tells me right there that his injuries were caused by him and him alone. His swing had so much tension and aggressiveness to it that his body just gave up on him. He just put too much into the game at one point in time, which made him the greatest golfer on the face of the earth and arguably the greatest athlete on the face of the earth, which you could argue is the reason he would be put in the conversation of the best sports dynasty of all time. I mean, he won four of the 4 majors in a year, or 3 of the 4 majors in a year, at least more than once, more than twice. I mean, the guy was in the conversation of going after the great Jack Nicklaus's record of most majors of all time. And I mean, the guy's won more money than anyone. The guy was the greatest golfer in the history of the game until it came down on
a lot
him.
of past tense there.
Exactly. It came down crashing so fast for him. His injuries happened, and then you saw the downfall with his cheating scandals with Elin Nordgren. Which, why the hell would you cheat on that woman? But you had the downfall of him in the media, but you also had the downfall of his body happening at the same time, and now he is just not even a relevant athlete anymore. So in my opinion, as he pulls out of probably another tournament tomorrow, or a week from now, the guy continues to pull out of tournaments and just not even compete anymore. He is the biggest loser in sports.
So I see where you're coming from. You define biggest loser a little differently than I did, but
absolutely,
yeah, I see where you're coming from with that. If you go someone of all time, who would you? Like what I said when I said T.O. Not saying he's bigger loser than Melo, but someone who's not currently playing.
All time.
Let's be fair. Someone who's not currently playing. Would you go?
That's a tough one. That is so tough. One guy that just lost everywhere he went. Man, I don't even know. There's so many players that just lost everywhere they went. Who would you say?
Well, I was telling you T.O., but that was my guy. Even though we just advocate for being in the Hall of Fame, but at the same time, that's individual accomplishments rather than team accomplishments.
Lost everywhere he went. I mean, you could throw Johnny Manziel in. The amount of hype that was around him when he came in. You could throw a guy like a Joey Harrington, and who was absolutely hated, but granted, he probably, the hype wasn't there.
If we want to go that route, you got to throw Darko in.
You could throw Darko in. You could throw so many guys into that conversation that are no longer even in the league anymore. That, I mean,
I just see, like, me personally, I think you're a bigger loser if you are good enough, you just can't figure out a way to win. You just can't
win. Well, you could argue that with Tiger then. I say Tiger then because he is good enough. I want to know if you stick with Tiger if you open the parameters a little bit. He's proven he can continue to win. He's proven he's a winner. He's proven he was the best golfer of all time. He's proven he's the most talented guy on the course. And arguably the best athlete in sports. But the guy can't win anymore.
Now let me ask you one more question before we move on here. If
hands down biggest downfall in sports.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. If LeBron had never went to Miami and just stuck with that Cleveland team and kind of like if he
that's a hard conversation again.
I know.
Just because
it's very hype. It's very theoretical.
That conversation is almost too theoretical. Just because that LeBron just.
I'm saying if LeBron never used a super team to win a championship, would we be including him in the Biggest Loser conversation?
Yes, because I don't think LeBron can do it on his own.
That's what I wanted to get to. You don't think
I don't think LeBron can do it on his own because he hasn't proven he can do it on his own. Even when he proved that he can get there on his own, he couldn't win it.
Which, to be honest, with that 07 Cleveland team, that was impressive.
Yes, it was impressive, but you're also talking probably about a down year in talent of making it in the playoffs. You're talking a situation.
The team that he took is just the
team that he took was terrible, but at the same time, you're talking fluky situations. You're talking downturn in talent in the NBA that year. You're talking a lot of scenarios made the Golden Stars align for him to take that team, and he still couldn't win. So.
By the way, if we want to do a little mix up here and throw cities in the biggest losers, I would have to easily go. Well, okay, teams.
I'd throw the city of New York in.
For teams, I would throw the Lions and Browns just right there,
absolutely.
Right in the pit.
No doubt. But, I mean, if we're gonna go biggest loser city in sports, I'd throw the city of New York, the Yankees. Yes, they were good for a while, but in the last,
we were just discussing they could possibly be the
biggest dynasty, best dynasty, but that's a while ago. Yeah. Nowadays, you have the Mets, sure, but in the long run, they haven't been that great for a long time. The Rangers, they had a good stretch for a while, but at the same time, the Rangers were talked about as one of the worst franchises in the sport for a while. The Islanders, who the hell cares? That's like the Jets of the NHL. The Jets, who the hell cares? The Giants, they had their Super Bowl run, but again, one team doesn't make you a great sports city. The Knicks are terrible. The Brooklyn Nets are terrible. So you could throw the city of New York in for the worst sports city in America. You could throw, even now you could throw the city of Detroit in. Michigan.
You could.
Way overrated.
Absolutely.
Michigan State, garbage. Pistons, garbage. Lions, really not, way overrated. Not that good of a team. Tigers, there's a huge question mark there. So you could throw the city of Detroit as one of the worst sports cities in America right now. I love my Detroit sports, but no way have they lived up to their last year title in any way. So if you wanted to go that route.
Yeah.
So, but
we'll move on.
We're going to switch up a little bit. We're going to go to some movies.
Movie talk.
Guilty pleasures. All right, so my friend.
This is going to be the most embarrassing time we've ever done. I'm going to tell you right now.
This is going to be a lot of fun. My friend, what is your guilty pleasure? Everybody's got it. Everybody's got one.
Can't believe.
Don't you dare lie to me. Everybody's got a guilty pleasure movie.
I cannot believe I'm about to go this route.
Oh, I'm right there with you. What is your guilty pleasure movie?
There's just some days where I'm sitting on the couch, bored out of my mind you, where I suddenly have a craving for bat nips and ice puns. And I have to find a Blu-ray that I've actually purchased, mind you.
It's funny.
A Blu-ray I've actually paid actual paper money for. Batman Robin.
At least it's
good
funny.
Lord. It is okay. It is one of the
terrible movie.
One of the worst. It is the worst Batman movie ever made, but one of the worst, if not the worst superhero movie ever made. But at the same time, my God, is it funny for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, it is a terrible movie.
Just right out of the bat, you get to zoom in on the fucking bad nipples, the ass, the bad ass. You start off with the first lines of that movie was Robin going, "I want a car, chicks dig the car," and then Batman says, "This is why Superman works alone," and then Alfred going, "I'll cancel the pizza." If that first 30 seconds doesn't tip you off, it's going to be a shit show of a movie.
But my favorite part of that movie, there's two of them. My favorite part is when the hocky bad guys come out, and all of a sudden you see Batman and Robin just click their heels.
Batman on ice.
And they got ice skates. That's awesome. And then, "Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman. Everybody chill."
Let me say something real quick here. So, Joel Schumacher almost single-handedly killed the Batman franchise. But here's something crazy. Just earlier today, I was at Best Buy, and I was looking for some. I wanted to see if they had anything from the the DC animated universe and the Batman movies. But I came across a 2-pack of movies.
Okay, love those.
Double feature. Batman Forever and Batman Robin.
Oh God!
So immediately I'm like, all right.
Sounds terrible.
I really want to know what they said on the back of this to try to sell this
Batman movies.
To try to sell this fuck show of double feature. I picked up the DVD casing, turned it around. The first sentence I see: watches Joel Schumacher rejuvenates the Batman franchise.
Oh my God!
I could not have even pictured a bigger lie.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, Batman and Robin, good God, is it terrible, but good God, is it fun to watch.
Alright, I'm going to go a different route. And this is even a little more embarrassing.
Oh,
As a guy, this is more embarrassing.
Lord.
And I can't believe I'm admitting this.
Chick flick, aren't
I'm
you?
admitting this to the internet. I can't believe I'm admitting this to the internet, but...
Do I want to hear this?
My guilty pleasure movie, and I don't know why, I just like this movie, and I hate to admit it, but there's a movie. God, I can't remember who's in it. It's some cute blonde chick, but
Hilary Duff?
no,
I mean, I had a huge crush on her as a kid, but continue.
she is. Yeah, I had to, but Letters to Juliet.
What in the world is wrong
I'm sorry,
with you?
I don't know why. I don't know if it's the scenery.
It's not even funny. It's
I don't know if it's the scenery.
It's just an all-around shit movie.
I don't know if it's the scenery. I don't know what it is. That movie just kind of speaks to me in a way that I just kind of like watching it. And you know what? What a Girl Wants with Amanda Bynes. Fuck it. Fuck
Here
it.
we go. This man went the chick flick route. Oh my God.
Those two movies, it's got to be The Travel because they have a recurring theme. It's a recurring theme. It's the travel. Once in France, once in Italy. Boom, done. That's why I like to travel. I'm a man again.
So I need to know something.
What?
Please tell me you never watch those movies on your own by yourself. Oh no.
Letters to Juliet, I have not. What a Girl Wants, it came on TV once. I watched it. That was the end of it.
Oh no.
That's the end of it. No. Why did I just admit to that on the internet?
I don't know. Here's my, since you named two. Here's another one I could throw in. I could throw in the hat here. There is a movie that when it came out, I was almost crying of laughter. I had loved this movie.
Crazy Stupid Love.
Oh, I've never seen that movie.
That movie's fucking hilarious. And I understand it's a chick flick, but that movie's fucking hilarious, people.
But then I
call it a guilty pleasure. It's awesome.
Went online, just curious to find out where people thought.
God, I'm like crying from laughter.
Just curious to find out where people thought. And come to find out, people absolutely despised this movie.
What?
And I didn't know why. People were offended. People saying it was poorly made, but hey, it made me laugh. Movie 43. I find that
movie very funny. I can't
there we go. I've never seen someone tell me that was a good movie other than This guy right here.
You? Is that more embarrassing than Letters to Juliet and What a Girl
No,
Wants?
absolutely not. Because at least it's something a normal dude would watch. But people are like, why is someone asking some girl asking a guy to shit on her funny? And I'm like, that's hilarious to me. He was gonna propose, and she said, "Can you please shit on me?" That is to me, to my immature sense of humor. If you put Batman and Robin movie 43 back to back, I might not come out alive. And watching Jason Sudeikis and Justin Long dress up as Batman and Robin in movie 43, that's just Batman Robin Inception right there.
Oh God!
It's I was entertained, and I've seen this movie maybe 3 or 4 times now.
Oh my God! I'll admit that's more than I've seen Juliet and What a Girl Wants.
Well, I've seen Batman and Robin at least 20. So
okay, that I'll admit to also.
Here's something about Batman and Robin though.
Ugh.
So when I was a kid, before I was allowed to watch PG-13 movies, my dad had a VHS of Batman and Robin, and he also had like Jurassic Park and a bunch of other PG-13 movies that I was interested in watching, you know. Mm-hmm. So I would sit there, I'd grab the Batman and Robin one, and I'd read comic books, so I was a fan of Batman.
PG-13?
Yeah, it's a PG-13 movie.
Seriously?
You got bat nipples. All right.
That's why.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at the cover, I'm looking at the back. I'm like, I don't know why Batman's in a frosty white suit, but I really want to watch this movie. And I would always ask my dad, please let me watch. I'd never seen a live-action Batman movie before. I'd only seen the...
How old were you?
I'd probably guess around 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
But again, I still was not allowed to watch the movie till I hit. I think he let me off a year early. I think I watched it when I was 12.
Ooh.
But anyway,
Rebel.
So I'm sitting here and I'm just clamoring to watch this movie. It's just been sitting there for so many years. My dad never pops in, so I can't sneak a peek at it. So
of course, why the fuck would he?
I don't know why the hell he bought it in the first place. Then again, I bought it on
Blu-ray. My father likes that.
Anyway, long story short. This ended up being the first Batman live-action movie I watched.
What a poor child.
So, and the very next one I watched was Batman Forever. Those are the only 2 I knew. So imagine how mind blown I was going to the theater and watching Batman Begins.
Wait, you went from Batman vs. Robin, Batman and Robin.
I mean, the world went from Batman Forever, Robin to Batman Begins.
Yeah, but people still knew what was going on. You still could have watched
They understood there was a huge drop off in the Tim Burton Batman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You still could have watched the other ones. You just didn't watch the other ones, and you went from that to Batman Begins?
Exactly.
Wow, that's an eye-opener.
It was an eye-opener.
Whoa.
I left that theater like... Holy shit, that was amazing. So,
oh man, wow, that probably opened your eyes.
Oh yes, it did. Oh. I just wish that I was this age when Batman and Robin came out and went to the theater anticipating like an awesome Batman movie.
I would have died laughing for hours.
No, I think my genuine reaction would have been absolute pissed offness, if that's a word. Just rage storming out of the theater. And then
would you have made it through the whole movie?
I don't know. See, I've never walked out of a movie, so that's something I've never done.
Either.
So I probably would have, but I know that I would have rage stormed out. Like I would have been furious leaving that film, but then I feel like let it sit in for a week or so.
And you would have been dying
thinking
laughing.
about like that actually happened. That is hilarious.
I'm Batman.
And then upon second viewing, it probably would have been the funniest thing.
What the fuck was George Clooney thinking?
Money.
Yeah, true. All right. Oh man. All right.
That was a great.
Now that we've completely and entirely embarrassed ourselves on the internet,
completely.
I think that's all the topics we got for you guys.
I think we should call it night and go sit in the corner.
Yeah. I can't believe I admitted what I admitted.
I can't believe you admitted what you admitted.
Yeah, seriously. So, anyways,
I'll sit here and tell you I love Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I'm still not as embarrassed as that.
Again, guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight. We love you.
This will be up on YouTube shortly too. So
this will be up on YouTube again. If you guys missed it, catch it out there. Please follow us on Twitter at Real Fan
Report.
Real Fan Report.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Real Fan Report or The Fan? It is Real Fan Report.
No, that's our email.
No,
you can shoot us an email, by the way.
Yeah, shoot us an email if you got questions.
Contact fanreport@gmail.com is our email. Real Fan Report is our Twitter.
Yeah, that Real Fan Report is our Twitter. Follow us on Twitch. Catch us when we go live. Feel free to chat with us in the chat. Let us know of any topics you guys want us to talk about.
Like, follow, subscribe.
Like, follow, subscribe, all the above.
Always appreciate the support.
Yep, we love the support.
Please be a big supporter.
So, again, thank you guys for coming out. We love you. Have a good night.
Peace, guys.
Peace out. Still can't believe I admitted that.